Flawed policies of the current government, pure self-interest. Corruption, national loss. Zia Hakamir Khan. Today, Pakistan stands at a crossroads where the path to economic stability is blocked and the political horizon appears bleak. This is not merely the result of circumstances, but the outcome of policies that have prioritized the interests of specific individuals and groups over the welfare of the public. When a country's leadership favors the preservation of its own wealth and power over a national vision, it becomes nearly impossible to extricate the nation from the clutches of inflation, unemployment, and debt. A careful examination of the current government's strategy reveals that claims of national development were nothing more than rhetoric, while decisions made behind the scenes directly benefited a select few individuals and business circles, from long-term agreements in the energy sector to imbalanced import and export policies. Every step bears the mark of a burdensome and opaque system that has paralyzed the country's productive capacity. The nation's economic structure, already fragile, has been further hollowed out by these policies. Industries are shutting down, job opportunities for the youth have shrunk, and the poor and middle class are forced into severe struggle just to afford 2 meals a day. This is occurring while questions are being raised about the extraordinary transfer of funds and assets out of the Treasury. Corruption is no longer just a moral issue. It has become an economic cancer that is eating away at the foundational structure of the state like a termite. In such a scenario, the shaking of public trust is a natural consequence. How can rulers who hide their assets and whose decisions result in harm to the common man preach transparency and integrity? This situation has devolved into a kind of quicksand where the more one struggles, the greater the danger of sinking. This economic and political crisis is by no means just a game of statistics. It has become the daily tragedy of the Pakistani people. It was in this context that a highly important press conference was held on October 27th, where one of the country's most senior and experienced politicians, Shahid Khokhan Abbasi, presented extremely solid and worrisome facts to the nation. I too attended this press conference as a young politician and gained a close understanding of the country's current state. The reports and data presented on this occasion were clear evidence of the current ruling class's incompetence and bad intentions. The most critical point highlighted was the consistent finding across IMF reports and analyses by national economic experts that the country's economy had suffered a collective loss of approximately 6% of its gross domestic product GDP due to the current corrupt and flawed model of governance. This is the massive financial blow that has squandered the nation's hard-earned wealth in the span of just 1 year or a few months. A 6% loss of GDP is not merely a figure. It is a burden placed upon the future of every child in Pakistan. These were the funds that could have been spent on building hospitals, strengthening educational institutions, and rehabilitating infrastructure. But instead, they fell prey to corruption and unwise policies. Shahid Khokhan Abbasi specifically emphasized that the country cannot progress until transparent governance is ensured. His point was clear. Corruption and the lack of transparency are the twin monsters, undermining the country's foundations. When decisions are made in secret rooms and the fear of public accountability is lost, reports like these emerge, presenting irreparable statistics of national loss. As a young politician, I felt keenly at that press conference that the time for change has come. The country now needs concrete actions and institutional integrity, not just statements. The effects of this loss are not only economic but also profoundly social and political. When rulers shift their focus from public welfare to their personal gain, state institutions are inevitably weakened. The system of accountability becomes ineffective, and merit is severely compromised. This results in intelligent and hard-working young people being forced to leave the country, a phenomenon known as brain drain. This is another national loss that may not appear in the statistics, but it darkens the nation's future. Every wheel of the governmental machinery operates solely under one specific agenda. How can personal power and financial benefits be further solidified? In seeking the answer to this question, they ruthlessly exploit national resources and push the country into a dangerous economic trap. It is necessary that we face this harsh reality. The survival and stability of the country depend solely on transparency and the supremacy of the law, until a system is implemented where every person, no matter how powerful, is answerable before the law. Neither the economy can be fixed nor can the country emerge from the crisis. Policies based on personal interest must be rejected, and national interest must be prioritized above all else. This country is ours, and the responsibility for its protection and development rests upon all of us, especially those sitting in the corridors of power. If they do not change their ways even today, history will never forgive them, and future generations will continue to bear the weight of their decisions. The nation needs leaders who possess a vision for serving the nation, not for filling their own coffers.